Finally, I'm home alone. I can cheat on my diet with nobody watching. I'm just gonna have a little. Oh, hello. Didn't see you there. I was just relaxing. So, you want to know what to eat to get abs. I've accomplished this. I'll put some photos up of my transformation somewhere. And in this video, I'm gonna walk you through it and tell you how to calculate your calories and macros so you can know, roughly how many calories and macros to eat in a day to meet your goal. And I'll give you a sample of what I eat in a day to get abs. Without further ado, let's get into it. All right, just for some context, I was someone who was basically obsessed with getting abs when I started my fitness journey. And that was my only goal. And I did accomplish this. And on this channel, I share tips and advice on the things I've learned throughout my fitness journey. And hopefully, these tips and advice can save you a lot of time if you're trying to accomplish a similar goal. So, if any of that sounds interesting, please do like, comment, and subscribe. And let's dive into the content. And by the way, I have some notes in front of me. So, if I'm looking down at any point, I'm just looking at my notes. So, firstly, what we need to do is we need to have a rough idea of the calories and macros that we'll be intaking, right? The way I calculate this is I do my body weight in pounds multiplied by 15, right? So let's assume I'm 170 pounds, which is roughly accurate to what I weigh right now. So I'm 170 pounds. I would firstly multiply 170 by 15. I would get around 2,550. Let's subtract 500 from that and a little more than 500 just to get to like a nice number to work with. So if we subtract 550 from that number, we get 2,000. Now, this is roughly the amount of calories I would eat in a single day, right? Now, as far as the macros, so protein, carbs, and fat, I only really focus on protein. I don't bother myself with carbs and fat. Like I find it doesn't make too much of a difference in my physique, and it's just easier to focus on one thing. So what I do for protein is I do roughly 1 gram per pound of body weight. So I am 170 pounds. So I would take in 2,000 calories and 170 grams of protein in a day. So one question that commonly comes up at this point is, okay, great, I know my calories, I know my macros, but how do I fit in cheat meals and such into this? Because expecting to just eat 2,000 calories of completely clean foods all the time, nutritious foods all the time is unrealistic because, we go out, we have a social life, and just in general, even when you're at home, you want to enjoy different treats, right? So I follow the 80-20 rule, though I try to keep it more at 90-10. What this rule is basically 80% of your calories comes from whole food, nutritious foods, and then 20% can come from like more fun foods, if you will, that don't really have too much nutritional value. So like ice cream or, potato chips, whatever. And I try to keep it actually at 90-10. So I try to keep my food 90% nutritious and 10%, more fun foods. But I think 80-20 is fine as well. So what that would mean is if we do roughly 20% of 2,000, right? We get 400. So that means in a day, I have 400 calories that I can kind of play around with, have fun with. And for me, again, I try to keep it at 90-10. So it'd be more like 200. Okay. So next, we're going to dive into a sample meal plan. This is just what I would eat in a day. What you can eat may vary drastically because, you may not like the foods that I've mentioned here, or you may have different dietary restrictions, etc. But this is a sample of something that I would eat on a cutting diet. So for breakfast, I would have, I would have 4 large eggs with 2 pieces of whole wheat bread, right? Or whole grain bread, or, just basically anything other than white bread. So what this would come out to roughly is 559 calories, 30 grams of protein, 34 grams of carbs, and 35 grams of fat, right? So that would be my first meal of the day. And then from there, I would move on to, I do work, whatever. Now, usually I work out before I have lunch. So that's my lunch isn't really, a big meal or like anything like this. So my lunch would be maybe a protein shake with 2 scoops of protein with almond milk and 100 grams of egg whites. Now, I straight up drink egg whites. I know some people think it's gross. It's just so much easier than cooking, and I don't really like spending the time in cooking, so I just drink it. So I throw that in my protein shake and I drink it. So this lunch would come out to about 308 calories, 53 grams of protein, 4 grams of carbs, and 8 grams of fat. All right, so now we will move on to the dinner. For dinner, I may have something like this: 220 grams of minced turkey. And actually, one thing I forgot to mention in my breakfast, I also have 1 tablespoon of olive oil, which I'll use to actually cook the eggs. So that was factored into the calories and the macros. And now, similarly with dinner, I am factoring in a tablespoon of olive oil into this. So, tablespoon of olive oil, 220 grams of minced turkey, 1 tortilla, and I would, on top of that, have 200 grams of egg whites. Again, I would just drink the egg whites. I know, again, some people think it's gross, but it's just so much easier. So I drink the egg whites. Now, what this will come out to is about 664 calories, 62 grams of protein, 22 grams of carbs, and 33 grams of fat, right? Now, I still have a little bit of room left over to play with. So that room will be for my snacks, right? And for my snacks, what I would have maybe is throughout the day, I have 2 bananas. And then here's where the fun part kind of comes in. I will have chocolate ice cream. I may even have it basically on a daily basis because it's fairly low on calories and it helps me add a little treat that helps me to stay on track with my diet, right? Because it gives you a little bit of break from all that boring food, if you will, and it makes it easy to stay on track. So these snacks, 2 bananas and about 250 milliliters of chocolate ice cream would come out to 354 calories, 6 grams of protein, 76 grams of carbs, and 7 grams of fat, right? Now, the total of all these, I'll throw up somewhere over here, and that would be, the total calories and macros that I would be eating in this given day. Now, the last thing that I want to touch on are refeed days. Now, refeed days are a little bit controversial. There's disagreement in the community about whether they work, whether they don't work. What I would say is just do them, honestly. Because worst case scenario, they don't work, but they give you a little bit of break from your diet, which helps you stay consistent. And best case scenario, they do work, so you're getting a bit of benefit from them. Now, what refeed days are is basically one day. So you would eat this 2,000 calories for 6 days of the week, and then one day of the week you bump calories back up to maintenance. And the idea is this is supposed to be helpful. There's some science about it. I don't even remember it at this point. I was reading this a while back. But one other benefit, which I personally love, and the reason that's the reason I throw these refeed days in, is it helps you stay consistent with your diet. If you know that, okay, I have to eat lower calories for 6 days, but on the 7th day I'm going to get to bump calories back up and feel more full, more energy throughout the day. It's something to look forward to compared to if you say, okay, I'm just going to stay on low calories for 3 months straight. That's much harder to stick to. So again, one day of the week where you bump calories back up to maintenance. So instead of 2,000 calories on the refeed day, I would be eating 2,500 calories. And so that is it. I hope this helps you out and gives you a rough idea of what people are eating on their cutting diets or what people are eating to get abs, or I guess more specifically, because I can't speak for others, what I eat in a day when I'm on a cutting diet and trying to get abs. This is what works for me. Don't hesitate to play around with the numbers or do whatever you need to do. Get a professional opinion and such to find what works for you. But this is what works for me when I'm cutting down and trying to get shredded. So I hope this video helps you out. Please do like, comment, and subscribe. Any comments, any questions, comment down below for questions and such. Feel free to reach out to me, DM, whatever. More than happy to respond. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.